Here we have him. Worm. This is in a Conan the Barbarian comic. That's where I came across this. Let's see. Again, I like this website. It makes it easier to track down all these, because I'm watching like these Conan the Barbarian movies that are on that free Tubi app, and then it makes me want to go look up, the gods they're fighting and talking about, because you don't hear them at all mentioned. So, and this site's really good at just putting everything together. Thought it was interesting. He's considered an elder god, a demon worm. The elder gods part is what I think is interesting. But it's like, how can he be a god and a demon? And then, oh my goodness, he has a rival. So we'll get to that, which I'm always interested in when I see his rivals mentioned, because I think there's something to him, or to it, because of he was a more popular one, right? Conan ends up fighting his rival when he's freed and released back on Earth in China. Let's see. The Valley of Broken Bones. Broken Stones, sorry. Country Worms. Where was it? Did I already pass his rival? There's no hair, red. Skin is white. I don't think I did. No, I haven't. Its rival's coming up. So here we go.
In every reality, across all time, there exists a great power. In some dimensions, it is a snake. Upon others is found a worm. Theirs is a cosmic rivalry, an endless battle for dominance. And all of us have been pawns to their power. Saturn, SRC. Origin: the worm was an elder god, 3, and a rival of Set at a cosmic level, in every reality, across all time, 2.
See, that's what I thought was interesting. His rival is Set, right? Which is the serpent god with the Egyptian mythology. And here he's an elder god, monster of the serpent man. So here they give his, from the darkness. Of course, they claim that the creator god created Set, but they don't tell you who created Worm, and the other one. So I think is the demiurge. There's their version of the creator god, the first among sky fathers. God creator, Nun is his name in Egypt. Unknown one, the Ying. Yeah, I think that's interesting. But we'll get back to this character here.
After being defeated by a coalition of made of Khonshu and heroes from various eras, the worm went into influencing Janus of Lemuria in the pre-cataclysmic age. Circa 18,500 BC, this era's incarnation of Niord and James Allison. He came from the unexplored south and into Volusia, sought to speak secrets had told no one else. In order to finally approach King Kull, claiming that he had traveled from far beyond, past the sun and stars, to ask Kull for help in the War of the Worm, and offered him the Worm Crown as a gift of his deep admiration, along with a proposal of alliance between the Worm and Volusia. Volusia was a kingdom of Thuria during the pre-cataclysmic era, ruled by King Kull circa 18,500 BC. It was bordered, clockwise, at west and north by the Western Ocean, at northeast by Thule, at east by Zarfana and Camellia, and at south by Verulia and Farson. Volusia ruled over the whole of the western coast, with a narrow territory in the mountains at south, bordering Farson by west, 5. prior to human rule, it belonged to the serpent folk. 1. It was considered one of the 7 empires. 1:6. The serpent men ruled over Volusia. 1. Pre-cataclysmic age from the Far East. 9. Came true men, ancestors of the Volusians. Crossing the Communian Desert and the hills of Zalgara, they conquered Volusia from the serpent folk. A few of those survived, went into hiding, plotting their way to reclaim their power. 1. Kar. The first city of wonder allegedly at a time Atlantis was only a fiery volcano. Kar was a city of ancient Volusia, whose people, a race of which little is known, were destroyed by poison flowers. Though this explanation was lost to the modern Volusians. The sect of the Red Serpent approached by the worm at some point, when overzealous followers priests of Set considered that the other priests of Set had grown complacent. They formed their own secret faction, the sect of the Red Serpent, and started slaughtering temple after temple. The worm, who sought to further strife among the Setites, approached them and planted in their mind the notion that Set, a treacherous god, was worshipped at best by treachery and defiance. He also offered them the serpent scepter, which allowed mortals to unlock untapped powers of the serpent crown while resisting Set's will. The sect of the Red Serpent tried to combine the powers of the 2 artifacts as intended. But the power was too much and destroyed their bodies. The serpent crown moved to other wearers, while the serpent scepter was hidden by remnants of the sect of the Red Serpent. 3. Hyborian Age. The Valley of the Worms. Seemingly during the late Hyborian Age, the worm resided in the Valley of Broken Stones, within the country of the worm in Pictland. In the past, the worm destroyed Picts that had come the Valley of the Broken Stones and found its hidden temple. The Picts were consequently terrified of the place, and feared what they called the Dark One.
Fixes up.
After Bragi and his tribe of Aesir settled near the Valley of Broken Stones, despite the Picts' warning, they were all slaughtered by the worm. To avenge his brother in arms, Niord slew Satha and harvested its venom to use on his arrows in order to defeat the demon. As he tried to get his attention, a fur-covered being emerged playing a flute. But after killing the creature, the flute kept playing and soon the worm emerged. Niord tried to fight the demon by shooting it with his poisoned arrows. But the creature managed to throw the Aesir to the woods, heavily injuring him, while the worm retreated. 1. As Niord was dying, the worm sought to use his soul in his quest and reincarnated him through a different millennia. Serpent War. When James Allison was heading towards death, the worm used him and the bodies of his previous lifetimes to gather the warriors, Conan, Solomon Kane, Dark Agnes, and Moon Knight into a quest to defeat Set, which would allow the worm to finally achieve his goal. 4. However, after the defeat of Set, the heroes battled the worm in the Hyborian Age. After learning the truth, and with their combined effort, along with the help of Allison, Khonshu, and Set's priestess, Saturn, managed to defeat the worm. Powers. The worm, an elder god and a demon, demonstrated the following power set. Immortality. As a demon, the worm was nearly immortal. 2. Resurrection. The worm was able to reincarnate Niord through different millennia. 2. Time travel. The worm was able to travel through different time periods. 2. Mind control. It was able to manipulate James Allison. 2. Equipment worm crown. The worm had his own crown, just like the set had his serpent crown. 2. The worm possessed the serpent scepter at some point, which he provided to the sect of the Red Serpent. 3.
So, I hope that was interesting. There's a lot that I figured it's enough time sitting on this and not sharing it, because I figured you guys would know, would have more theories and be able to put the stuff together better than I could. Because I've been trying to find out, like, what is the significance to points in time in our history, or the history that we know of. Because I really don't think he would have wrote this stuff, this Robert E. Howard would have wrote this stuff and came up with this stuff all on his own. It's just in my mind, he's taking this from a source, a portion of history that's missing, and I just want to see what you guys have to say so it furthers, because it's stale. Like, yeah, it's interesting watching these movies and then going and reading about these things, but it's like it's not getting anywhere after a certain while, and I feel like it's because the information is just not out there. If somebody else would hear it and recognize, what's really going on there, who these people are, and be able to add more to it, and that would make it go further and make it actually make sense. So